Vanney.
Go ahead, Damien.
Great. Start with the health of the group. Jovic, Mark Delgado, be available this weekend?
Yeah, so far so good. Everybody trained today. Everybody was involved in training yesterday. So yeah, everyone's trending towards being healthy. I don't think there's anyone specifically that is out right now.
Martin as well.
Yeah, same. Trained. He's trained the last couple of days, so everybody's trending towards being available, and it's a good thing. It's a busy week. So.
Yeah, looking at that, looking at coming up into your first midweek and next week here. What do you think? Where are you guys at? You think physically, even mentally, really coming into this tough stretch here?
Yeah, I think physically first and foremost, I think we're in a pretty good spot. I mean, obviously we've had some guys who are coming back from having issues. All of those issues were pretty minor in the grand scheme of things, and we were able to, with Dayon, get him about 10, 12 days just to try to really get some work on that and recover. The other guys, Mark, same thing. It was just giving him a chance to kind of recover and deal with stuff. So good. Again, nothing that we have is significant. Everything is just kind of on the smaller, niggly side, if you will. And we've been able to stay in that space for a while. So now we're going into a busy part of the schedule. It's good to have everybody available, and then we can make some choices on how we want to attack each of these games and attack the week. Where are we mentally? We're a good spot. It's nice to be home. It's a challenge, as we all know, to play a lot of games early days on the road. You want get a couple of home games and you try to build some rhythm off of those, but it's nice to be home after being away for a couple, and then we got to go away for a couple more. So, but everybody's good. I think it's we like the spot that we're in, and we want to keep building. But we know we got to get through this tough stretch of games, and then the home games will come on the other side of all this.
With Jovic, do you have to sort of limit his minutes coming up here, or how do you sort of throw him back into his minutes?
Yeah, we'll probably keep a little bit of an eye on him. I mean, he's not going to start and play all 3 games this week, I would imagine. So somehow we'll have to. We'll figure out what the right sort of plan is for him as we go into the week, as we look at 3 games and short rest and all those kinds of things. But we certainly want to protect guys, but we want to be able to use everybody over the course of this week.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, Greg, you're talking now a third of the way through the season. I just wanted to look back at that start. I think we talked about the first 10 games being really difficult. How you guys sort of fared through that. We're through 11 now. Do you feel like you're trending in the right direction?
Yeah, I think we've done, again, a nice job of managing what the schedule has been. And I think listen, if you're playing home, away, and then you have a little bit different discussion. But we've played 7 out of 11 on the road. We've played in some tough places, some places where we haven't really picked up results in the past. We've been able to get results. If you look at the 7 on the road, we've averaged 1 point. If you look at the 4 at home, we've averaged 3. That makes 19. That's averaging 2 points per game if you look at it at your home and road. So from that perspective, I think we're in a good spot. We've got to make good with our home games, obviously, as they continue to come back to us after this stretch of road games. But I think we've managed to stay pretty healthy through this stretch as well, barring a couple little things here and there. So all those things are positive, and we've gotten some guys some minutes, and we've mixed the group around just a touch. So all of that's positive. We know that the opportunity that's in front of us after we grind through this and work through this road sort of stand is that you get consecutive home games after that where you can maybe really build some momentum back again. So I think the guys have done a great job of just managing what we've faced, and that's not always that you have to play amazing. Sometimes you have to do the things that you have to do on the road to take a point away or do what you got to do to manage the situation.
And then looking at Real Salt Lake, number 1, they're first in the West, so you have that game to look at, and I know you don't want to look past that, but then you go play number 2 in the West, at least as we currently stand, away at Minnesota. This seems like these are important games, even though one's home, maybe one's away. How do you sort of look at the next 2 games?
A great challenge for us, home game against Salt Lake is important just because we haven't had a stretch of home games. So every one you come back is important to try to take some points and to try to again build some momentum on our performance. They're obviously a good team. They're organized. They've got their attacking group has been dynamic and tough to deal with. So I think it's a nice challenge for us as we move to Minnesota, it'll be tough. It'll be a tough turnaround to go all the way to Minnesota midweek, but I think, again, the group has done a great job of dealing with these road games in different ways and performing at a solid level to be able to take 1 point, sometimes 3 points in these. So I feel comfortable with our mentality as we go on the road as well. So they are important games. It's still that early mid part of the season that we're still working through, but they're important games and they're a good measure for us. Just again, dealing with the circumstances of where we're at and playing a lot of road games. I want to see us kind of bounce back and have a nice performance at home and show a little bit more of a dynamic side to us that maybe in the last game we were a little less dynamic and a little more like pragmatic in some ways and defended well.
What's the challenge?
Go ahead.
What's the challenge with
Arango that he presents that maybe other forwards around the league don't?
Yeah, I mean, with Arango, he's obviously an interesting forward. He has a lot of different qualities about him. He's strong, he's powerful, he's big, he's good in the air, he's good on the ground. He'll come off of the line sometimes and pick up the ball in midfield areas, and then he'll go arrive back in front of the goal. So again, I just think he's got the qualities of a striker who does well in our league. He can score goals in different ways, and he's a handful. Again, he's a strong, powerful guy that gives center backs a tough time. So we've got to try to manage him. We've got to try to limit some of the service. We've got to communicate through the different positions that he will sometimes take up. Sometimes they'll play with 2 forwards. I think they'll go with more of a forward and a 10 in this one. So which case he'll probably stay a little bit more in the forward position and maybe won't drop off and play that second forward role as much. But he's tough because he can move around in different areas and do some different things, and you got to always kind of account for him, especially as he's arriving in the box.
All right, thanks for your time, Greg.
That it? Do you have another one, Josh? I think you had one more. Or are you good?
I'm good. Alex is up, but if you got
Alex, actually, ask your question. Ask your question, Alex.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, thank you for your time. I just wanted to ask you maybe how you're seeing Gabriel's progression through his first 11 games in MLS. Just are you satisfied with what you're seeing, or are you maybe expecting a bit more as the games kind of pick up?
Well, I'm pleased with Gabriel. I know the upside and the quality that he has is there. I think, again, as you come into a league and you adapt, that's a process. He's been a lot on the left side, and our left side doesn't always see the ball a lot of times, so sometimes the touches that he gets are fewer and far between sometimes when he's on that left side. So, for us, it's continuing to work with him in ways to stay involved in the game, and also for us to continue to get him involved when we have him on the left and Joe on the right. But he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of ability. It's sometimes just our group connecting with him and him connecting with the group and making sure that we're getting him involved in the game. And I think there's a couple times in the last game where he's trying to maybe force some final actions instead of kind of playing through that 1 or 2 more actions, pass, move, things like that, where he could get a better look and maybe trying to just force a look. And so I think being a little more patient on that side can help him out. But he's got an incredible engine. He puts a serious shift out there, working on both sides of the ball. Again, I think if we can get some numbers around him a little bit more and get him more involved, I think we'll see a lot of the qualities that he's capable of bringing out to the group.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.